turn to pick.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to more of the Mars TV Dota League, the MDL. We are in the very start of day number 1, group stage action here. And in our first series, it's LGD Forever Young going against MVP Phoenix. We're in game number 3 of a pretty hype series so far. MVP game number 1 just absolutely crushed and ran on forward and through LGD on the back of that epic PA. And in game number 2, LGD, well, they were the ones. Jiawei, Leshrek, and a wonderful performance by Super with his DK allowed them to get into a Game 3 opportunity. KotLGuy from Beyond the Summit. I'm going to be joined again by Lumi here. And Lumi, did you know, and actually you may know better than me, a fun little fact here. Apparently Forever Young also have some fun little nicknames here by the Chinese community, such as Queen Mother, Lao Fo Ye, and Old Fat Cow, Lao Fei Yang. This is coming from Jack. Does that sound right at all?
I have not heard of those ones.
Yeah. So apparently, Old Fat Cow or Queen Mother. If you're becoming a Fast Forever Young fan and we're looking for new ways to appreciate this squad, call them the Fat Cows. Apparently that works. But look at this bold call from MVP. Can't help but acknowledge the fact that a nice little homage to March here to start things off.
I gotta say, the Forever Young name is so ironic because the team is full of old people. Even MMY, who's like retired but on the roster, is also old.
They believe they're forever young. That's what it is, I believe.
I mean, maybe they just want to return to the young days where they're wrecking with their old strats.
Yeah, when they were winning. Yeah.
Damn. Shots.
But, you know, who knows really to expect from them. They kind of, sometimes they're putting out the whole, like, you know, we're just putting a team together. We're just a bunch of bros. We just want to play Dota. I'm Jiawei, you know, married one day, not the next. I can do what I please. I'll play Dota if I want. And that's what they're doing here now. And if they get wins, then, you know, great. No problem. Yeah. Pressure's on teams like MVP Phoenix. They are now a TI competing team, and they are out to prove that even if a certain secret squad rolls around and takes some of our best players, we will persevere and we will beat them. I'm very, very much looking forward to an MVP versus secret match, but they still have to make their way through Forever Young, and it's not easy, man. Will Warlock do it, though? I don't know.
I mean, Warlock is a great hero. There's 2 disagreement camps in terms of how you level up Warlock, right?
Yeah.
You got the fluff and stuff camp who says max up people because it's the best spell, probably one of the best spells in the game. But you got the other camp, the Korean camp, actually saying, dude, you max Fatal Bond because you give you more damage. And I think the way that MVP plays it, especially with the Faceless Void Chronosphere, that the Fatal Bond probably makes a little bit more sense. Upheaval doesn't necessarily need it as much because everyone's already stunned. You drop the Fatal Bond, you drop the Rock, and you watch everyone die. Hopefully, MVP picks a little bit more AoE, not like Shadow Poison, not Ignite, you know, something with a little bit more oomph to follow up with that Wombo combo.
It's funny because I know Warlock is not that far out left field pick that he was for a while, or a signature pick for maybe just one team on the block. I mean, we did see Wings pulled out occasionally at TI6. Now, I know at the time it felt like it was a situational pick as a counter. I can't think off the top of my head who it was to counter with or to help benefit, but nonetheless, I'm sure MVP Phoenix looking to remind me what it may be here. A Faceless Void Chrono to kind of stack with it, I'm sure is more than bountiful. And it doesn't stop with the Wombo combo factor. Holy tamale. If things go the way of MVP Phoenix's, we could have huge highlight-worthy moments here in this game. That's ridiculous.
Now, these are the type of lineups that LGD ran a lot back in DPL like a week ago. And these were the lineups that they were losing with. The run that you line up that they executed so well last game, they have the highest chance of just self-imploding because especially running into a Darkseer, into a Faceless Void, into a Warlock ult, you know, you could get that 1 kill and think you could get more, and suddenly you get yourself clumped up and comboed up. And they have 3 melee heroes already. LGD looking like they're taking a page out of the MVP playbook.
Yeah,
and
really.
MVP playing the LGD, right? Like this is both teams using each other's strats. Let's see how well they can steal from each other.
This will be interesting. The one thing I will have to say, and I've already noticed, and we're kind of just a little after, you know, post-TI, the new season is before us. We haven't really received that first juicy balance patch that people are, for whatever reason, already salivating over. I mean, in my opinion, I felt like this has been a wonderful meta, and we've seen a variety of little bits of everything in different play styles and different lengths of games. But for, you know, eventually the balance patches will come. The point I'm getting is the one thing I've noticed is pretty much there's been a general idea of what's good, what's not, pretty much across all regions. There's not really too much of a disparity. Now this is an MVP draft. If you block their names and you told me MVP was playing this game, I don't think anyone would really have any trouble seeing what side they were on, Lumi. Not at all.
Warlock, Spirit Breaker.
And Dark's here even to add to it too. Like, this is just the dream if you're MVP.
Yeah, this lineup really excels in more drawn-out team fights, because that's where multiple Iron Shells would do a lot. If you think about Warlock's ability, the longer the fight goes, the better it is, because Shadow Word takes a while to kind of tick in. Same thing with Fatal Bond. And I think for me, LGD wants to end the team fight pretty much instantaneously, right? You got the Bolt, you got the Slaughter, and you got the Timber Saw, a lot of burst damage. I don't think they're so good at a drawn-out team fight. That's where the Bolt buff will wear off. Imagine a Bolt buff wearing off and the Fatal Bond continue to take in. That's where it really hurts for LGD. I'm not personally understanding the Enchantress pick as much. I don't know, what do you think of this? It seems like Enchant's ability is quite bad, especially against Surge. Her damage output is not that great to kind of combine it with the burst damage. I guess they just want a little bit more ganks in the early game.
Yeah, I guess just more focus. I don't know if they think that maybe it's a mid lane Warlock, which who knows. It's plausible here. I mean, Naga last pick is a bit ambiguous. It could be core, it could be...
it seems like a QO Naga.
Seems like a QO Naga, yeah. That would definitely make a lot more sense. So I don't know if we're looking for lane pressure behind the Enchantress. I mean, they need someone to get a heal, and all right. 5th and final pickup for Forever Young is going to be the Medusa. Interesting.
Okay. You know, I thought it was going to be the Monet Medusa, because he's been playing nothing but hyper carries. He loves playing things like anti-mage. He's played a couple of Medusas, but it looks like he's going to go for Timber here. And it's going to be an LPC Enchantress. Let's see what the Romy man's got for us.
Yeah, I read up on him quite a bit. I will admit that I haven't been able to see too many of his games, but just based on seeing his history, where he's been, where he's come, you know, how he became the captain and the man of Tong Fu and then was taken aboard this team. You know, I've only been able to appreciate 2 really of his matches so far. Enchantress definitely is a bit of a difference, but this guy's already shown us a Wisp and Enchantress. Like, that kind of says, like, I can play any and all support heroes that you need. Whereas some would be like, give me this, this, and this, but don't throw a Chen my way. I'm not really a Chen guy, or whatever else, you know? It's like, he seems like he can get all aspects of a good support. But I don't know. I haven't seen the performance yet. It's been a while since I've seen Enchantress. She hasn't seemed like a cool grab at this meta. I don't know how else to say it. So
yeah, especially in China, like, there's not many good Enchantress that you could learn from. I think Chuan is really the only one that plays Enchantress, and
yeah,
he's on break right now. So
I mean, she was popular with Drow when we saw a lot of Drow. Here, Drow's been banned more often, so I would understand that. But
right,
yeah, we'll see how it works out for him.
In terms of in this game, it seems like Enchantress is gonna have some tough time against Spirit Breaker, right? Like, he just charged at you. Sure, once you get Untouchable leveled up, you know, he can't hit you as hard, but for the first 5 levels or so, you're just kind of food.
Yeah, and especially if she wants to, like, be a bit greedy, hang out in the jungle or whatever. This Spirit Breaker and the way MVP like to play him, he's going to be out, checking out. Where's this Enchantress, huh? She's not in lane. I'm going to find her. I'm going to beat the snot out of her. So, and as all these games have shown, laning stage is really what's important. So this game could be defined. If it's trending like the last 2, this game could be defined in, well, the first 5 or 6 minutes. Maybe who gets first blood. That's also been a pretty defining moment, too.
It seems like a team that got the first blood just rose over the other team. We haven't talked about this Medusa last pick, so I'll just quickly drop the point out. Quite good against Spirit Breaker, right? The charge, the initiation, the run at you lineup is not going to work as well. I think MVP is going to have to rely more on their AoE and less so on the bum rush this game.
We do have some, 17%'s coming out here onto a certain Xiao Wei. He is going to be able to step back and away, but he looks to go for Fall of Torrent. Wow, gets the connection right on the cusp of the edge. But LPC by his side. It's a slow, staggering, laggy walk away, but Dubu seems like he will be able to create the bit of space, and certainly with the heal coming out from Ryzen, it's going to be more than enough. But, you know, just like the last 2, already a little bit of early aggression coming out from both fronts here.
You know, I think this reminds me of the old LGD International. Remember what they did? They got double roam supports. Always with the Enchantress, sometimes with Avenge. And this is looking like it. You know, you come in with the Enchantress, you back up with a Torrent from afar, and you just roam from lane to lane to get kills. They have 3 very self-sustaining laner in the form of a Slaughter, a Medusa, and a Timber, and you just kind of walk around with the 2 supports and get kills. Whether that's going to work against very tanky heroes like Spearbreaker, and we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, that was definitely a trending thing. I mean, that probably ran in parallel with like Vici Gaming and their famous FY Fenrir, like just roaming, the Bash Brothers running around with their crazy little Rubik and whatever else. It was just something that was just so, like, and it was mind games too. Like if they were out of the lane, next thing you know, your mid laner, side laners, they're all nervous, they're waiting, they're hoping they have the appropriate wards down, and it just makes such an impact to the early game. And yeah, we don't see a lot of the tag team movements anymore, but here LFY flexing that muscle. She's got a troll, they got a pirate guy, and they're hoping that they can make some gank action happening here in the bottom lane, but it's not going to be so easy. It looks like Dubu and Ryzen are both in a defensive position prepared. I may have to reconnect. The lag is a bit more intense than it's been, so I just feel like a fight might break out though.
Yeah, I'll cover you if you do need to reconnect. I don't think LFI could actually get kills here because Fabi has Time Walk out. Dubu is tanky as heck, and then you got a Warlock backing both of them up. Unless Warlock gets initiated, I don't think anybody on the side of MVP will die.
Okay, I'm coming back in, guys. Don't worry. I know there's been a lot of the kale happening right now, so we'll hope to fix that. Again, yeah. we're working through the great fire of walls.
Well, during the KO, Velo got a solo kill as Darkseer against the enemy Timbersaw. Kind of just ran at him with Iron Shell, and you know, Timbersaw generally very good against physical harass, not so good against magic damage early on. Meanwhile, back in the mid lane, Medusa being able to pick up a kill.
That roaming duos. Xiao Wei, man, putting in the mileage already all over the place. It looked like he was able to creep in from behind. They got the takedown on Naga, and as you were talking about, I mean, if Darkseer's getting solo kills in his off lane, oh my goodness, that's the freaking dream, man. Getting closer to level 5, looking to build up towards that mech, and you know, Timbersaw typically has a pretty good time against any sort of melee targets, but Darkseer's definitely a hard one. Bottom lane, though, we have a charge out. It's coming in from Dubu. Bashes in onto Xiao 8. Can they lock him down in time? The creeps, though, proving to be a bit of a problem right now. With a good torrent connection, they're going to turn it around onto Dubu himself, and they'll be able to bring him down. The Ghost is actually going to get the last hit, and it's going to be totally denied altogether. Oh, Dubu's going to be back home just fine on that one, but Ryzen not so lucky. Suddenly a wild, very angry Fishman shows up, and Yao ain't happy.
Yeah, you know, I did not expect the 2 big creeps to do that much damage, especially against the Spearbreaker, but they were just beating him down. But I don't think LFY has any business being in the enemy jungle at half HP to start the fight. Imagine if they were full HP, they win that fight. They roll over MVP. The Kunkka at like 50%, and same thing with the Enchantress. Monet also needs to step up his game. His Iron Shell game is, his reactive armor is just not going to be able to keep up with Velo. Velo is really going to run over this lane. He's already out farming the Timbersaw. And like you said, the early mech goes in a long way to kind of stabilizing what LFY is trying to do.
Charge is coming in. Velo's just peppering him up with this Ion Shell. I mean, this has got to be a bit infuriating. I mean, you're telling me this is a guy who likes to play anti-mage. And I know that people who like to play anti-mage like to play games where they just hit creeps and don't get bothered so much. Yeah, right now he's got to be very bothered. So if he has an AM kind of temperament, he's not very happy right now. But we'll have to see. He's just very passively waiting, knows that Dubu's missing off the map, and is very nervous. Meanwhile, they're going to get a kill on the Warlock, it looks like top lane. Rolling on in, another pickup for Yao. The Slaughter are happy to participate in any fights outside the lane.
Yep. Also, Charge is going to come through on top here. Monet is dropping low. Now, Monet does have the ward to see that there was Dubu hiding in a tree, so he's somewhat prepared, and the TP supports are coming in instantaneously. He does have the level 6 now, so we'll have a little bit of killing potential against, especially Spearbreaker, if he's charging him under the tower.
Yeah, but now knows that Spearbreaker is going to be gone. Timbersaw happy to kind of get himself back into the lane, all is well. And Velo will get to go back into a bit of a reset here, but where Dubu is not able to find success elsewhere, he is looking for new opportunities, and that's going to be now in the mid lane. Super dishes out the Mystic Snake, pops out the shield, gets bumped back a bit, but not looking to commit that hard. Obviously, QO, the Naga, just hoping to get a little bit of wiggle room here because he's got a long game ahead of him as this core Naga. I mean, it's going to take a while of a window to get that Radiance and actually be a serious problem. And if it's like the Tinker game too, you know, it just takes so much of a build-up. So you have to hope you can make it to that point, and your team's going to be ready for it.
And it looks like it's making more and more sense about this Enchantress pick and the way that Shai wants to play this game. He constantly wants to pressure the enemy jungle. Look at how many ward they have Like they even have one deep one, like seeing the stacks that Naga could be making, and that's where Enchantress gets good. You could steal stacks early and take jungle. Risen now really stuck in there. They do have a charge on Xiaowei, but will they make it in time? Oh, the tree block! You see the Ironwood branch making a tree, and now Risen's still alive. He needs to buy a little bit more time till the Spirit Breaker comes in.
Oh.
He's gonna be alive still.
Oh, he's gone! Surge that man! He's running back in a way. They refuse to let him go. But Yao might have to accept this one. He actually gets bumped on the way in, and they'll be able to take him down. Yao still looking to rush on forward. Can he get Febby? Yes, he can. He will be able to get the elbow in, but he also loses his own life, man. Wow. Yeah, let's pause for a moment. We need to take a bit of a moment of respect right there. That tree right there, that Bob Ross moment, that was very nice.
Oh
and he was able to somehow utilize that and finagle and weasel his way out through those trees and get the save.
When the branches changed, like we all dreamt of that moment. I was like, oh, we're gonna see those plays. Making a tree and juke, but we don't actually see that much. And well, Risen definitely has not forgotten about that old trick, I guess. Making it happen. Looks like we are gonna see that charge up top. Dubu charging past multiple wards.
He doesn't care.
His movements are very pronounced, and Monet will know.
I hope he'll know at least. For now, he's just calm, cool, and collect. Has the TP to work with. We'll continue to push through on the tower, but always will be able to bail back. I was gonna say on a timber chain, but he actually doesn't have a timber chain. Here comes that charge now, but. Obviously
he does have 33 armor. That would help.
Yeah. Oh yes. Yeah, reactive armor really kicked in now, man. My goodness, man, all in on the reactive armor. I don't know. That is a very different timber saw build, man. No timber chain at all in reactive armor. He was anticipating that he was going to be eating a lot of shots in the mid lane, or in the laning phase.
Well, again, his 4 teammates are mostly playing on the other side of the map. He knows he's mostly on his own. He might get a TP support once in a while. But the Enchantress and the Kunkka is mostly going to focus on the bottom side. So I think it makes more sense knowing how the game is going to go. And he knows he probably can't get solo kills even with Timber Chain.
It will require a bit more time so that he gets that mobility ready to go. But in his book, he is playing this kind of like that very greedy farmer. Trying to go for the tier 1 now, but MVP are going to be looking for their own response. Both Velo and the Dubu Spirit Breaker here. And Enchantress will be able to get the last hit on the tower, so that goes their way. Back at bottom, though, Tor connection, looking to go for Febby. He gets the heal, but with the amp damage on and the right clicks following forward, Yao will make chase, and we'll grab that one up. LFY pull ahead now, 5-4. And after just taking down one tower, they could follow up with another, but now QO here. The song, though, coming up short, hoping to get a grab on Yao. It's not going to be happening.
No, there was a Kunkka teleporting behind his tower, so he wanted to Song to cancel that TP. They had charge on him as well, so they saw him TPing out. Makio, overestimating his Song range, now puts the long ultimate on cooldown. That's their really get out of jail free card for 3 minutes cooldown. Now it's gone for a while.
Yeah. I wasn't going to be anticipating him using it much, if at all, in any sort of offensive way for a setup. But yeah, as you mentioned, as a defensive tool, it's not there. Does make things a bit on edge for him, so that any gank opportunity would be all the easier for LFY. So he'll have to kind of maybe hide on the down low or implement the buddy system in the meantime until that cooldown is over. So we'll have to get back into the grindstone and just try to get some level 6s, I would assume. I'm sure MVP would love to have their chaotic offering online soon. Atoma is going to be up in about 45 seconds time, so that will certainly help.
Yeah, as the game goes later and later and hero groups up more, the song becomes more of a teamfight setup as well. I mean, they do have the song into a vacuum wall combo setup, you know, so I think the Naga song becomes much more valuable later on. But yeah, for now, it's just kind of like, hey, I'm getting ganked, let me song TP.
And it seems like LGD just totally content in playing the greedier game for now. This gives plenty of time for LPC to go back into his jungle. He's already participated plenty in this early laning stage, certainly in that bottom lane. And it just allows more opportunities. I mean, obviously Medusa, happiest to play with the clock almost out of anyone in the Dota universe. So Super can definitely play this one as casual as he'd like. And, you know, it's really the onus is on MVP to be able to kind of make their mark, certainly as the mid game does approach.
Right. And the craziest thing this game is the fact that Slaughter is the highest net worth in the whole game. Yeah. And he's got Blink Dagger after he takes down this tower, so
wow.
LFY is not going to give you much time to actually get that Naga radiance.
He's definitely made his mark. All those hopping out of the lanes, getting a couple of shots in, definitely paid off. And now he's got a Blink Dagger. Man, get a smoke, put this to use right now.
He might have a chance to use it. He needs a little bit of help.
Here we go. Goes in, just walks in for this crush. But there's Febby looking to make his move in. They're going to be able to get the jump and get the catch there. It looks like for Xiaowei taking him out. But now they're looking for the chrono setup. Yao, though, able to crush through both of them. And they can't stop him. Super's here, and Super says, get the hell back. Popping out the Stone Gaze. That will stop any momentum right there from MVP, and they'll just have to take the one support only.
Wow, Yao's crush was on point because the range for the charge and bash is actually much bigger than it seems. But the crush actually got the spear breaker before he got hit. Kind of hard to time, actually. Meanwhile, though, Monet still getting a little bit more farm time up top. He's somewhat falling behind, but he ain't dying. He's got himself the hood build-up as well. The pipe is going to go a long way keeping everybody alive under the Wombo combo.
Yeah, it's a slow and steady build-up. It's not a crowd-pleasing performance there for Timbersaw, but eventually his time will come as he just slowly grinds away into being a true metal monster. Happens to cross pass here with Kyo, can burst him down a little bit, but will not be interested in making any sort of chase, as that will pretty much lead nowhere. But without too much threat to worry about, mid lane, big jump in, Torrent, boat combo, going to be able to get the quick grab, taking out Ryzen right away on the Warlock. Super's here now, a vacuum pullback by Febby, or sorry, not by Febby, by Velo, as Febby steps in, but with no chrono, I mean, that could be it for a setup. It might force Kyo have a song or anything he does. They might have to let them go. They have no other way to stop LFY from just walking away. There's going to be the blink out, but they have a charge now. Dubu locks onto Super, and that could force him to step back. He'll get the crush off now. There's going to be the Torrent. Lots of damage onto Dubu, but there's going to be the Nether Strike. Moving in for Super. They're going to get the Medusa. Monet showing up now to play, but QO, that's his time. He's going to pop off the song, and they're looking for a setup on the Xiaowei here if possible. Oh, nope, they're TPing out. Oh, he was the last one, but he got X at the last second. Oh, no, that is so unfortunate. Febby's back now, but I think he might just handed his own life over too if he's not careful.
Yeah. Yao has stunned in 5 seconds. He's earned up. He's going to be on the chase. I mean, Febby's running fast, but looks like they're going to give it up. Low on mana.
Oh,
happy with what he got. That was supposed to be, again, Gale the 0 free card. Twice now the song has not come to fruition. And again, we question about the playstyle of Naga being put on Akio. Just does not fit.
Yeah, it's definitely not working as planned, and with 2K invested now, it still seems like it's going to be a long quota for this Radiance to come out, and that's just the one component. I mean, Naga certainly has quite a critical mass to build into, so MVP need to really kind of pull out some stops right here. Looks like a potential easy setup could be in order onto LPC as they catch out the little Enchantress hanging nearby, but look, suddenly from the rafters, Yao jumps in. That's going to bring out the Chaotic Offering, trying to stun between the two. They'll eventually be able to bring down Yao. They will lose Ryzen with the boat coming on through. Now Super shows up to play, while on the other side, a Chrono going to be committed here from Febby, looking to go for LPC and Xiaowei. Stuns on forward, Dubu looking to get the finish, but they can't even get LPC yet. Buyback from Yao, looking to get back into the action now. Looks like Bello's going to be going down. There's Yao, sprinting on in, and that's going to force MVP back. So, at the end of the day, it's going to be a 2-for-1 trade. It is a buyback from the Slardar, and, you know, still LFY get the better of the net worth, and with that can move into the Roche, it looks like.
Yeah, and they understand that, look, you just use Chrono, you just use Chaotic Offering. These are some long cooldown, and Song was down from the previous fight, who also has a 3-minute cooldown. So they recognize that, yeah, even though we bought back and essentially the buyback did nothing, at least it's lighting up the Roche. At least we're going to take this one. I don't know exactly who we're going to give it to. Both Super and Monet could wear it well. I guess right now Monet, because he's probably going to do a little bit more with the Aegis. But we'll see. Are they actually going to get it? That's
I mean,
MVP's
all or
right
nothing
outside
here. I bet Xiaowei's going to drop a Torrent on that spot that moment just in case. Okay, no, but MVP, like, they're flirting around like they wanted to do something, but if you're not going to go in, you're already too late hanging around. They almost got QO there, and now they look for the pushback. They're going to be able to get the Enchantress first. The boat crashes in, connects nicely onto 3. MVP trying to fight on 4. They will force the Aegis out right away, and now they're looking to go for Monet. This is working out wonderfully for MVP. As they look to go back in, nice little snare catch onto Yao. Do they have enough firepower to be able to get the secondary finish? They look to go for it. They will get it. That's 2 down, technically 3 for MVP. They lose nobody for it. And the rest of LFY have to get the hell back. 10-10 now.
LFY just did not really respect the power of Fatal Bonds. They were all Fatal Bond, vacuumed up, and there were like 2 to 3 Iron Shells. 1 on Dubu, 1 on Naga, and 1 on the Darkseer. And they were just tanking Iron Shell times 3 and then times 4 because there's a Fatal Bond on like everybody.
the supports really did all the damage in that fight. Xiaowei did nearly 2,000 damage himself, and then yeah, that Warlock got about 17 to 800 damage in with that Fatal Bond. So gotta be careful. Cannot underestimate the amount of work that these guys could do in those back lines. And I'm sure that was definitely a wake-up call there for LFY, because all they built up for that Aegis and holding that second life has now been taken away. So we'll have to see if that could be the tipping point for MVP comeback or not. Ooh, Dubu feeling a bit hasty there. Maybe sending signals towards LFY, thinking about a charge in, but cancels, changes his mind, and they'll head out the other direction. And MVP seemed to be like feeling pretty frisky now ever since that fight. Ready for another fight, and here we go, Lumi. It's mid lane. A bump in for Super, gets him to the low ground, and they send him right back into the high ground again. There's going to be the Chrono. Velo just casually walks into it. Do they have enough damage to do it? Yao goes in, stuns the others. Here comes the boat. The Chaotic Offering is going to be dropped and will help get that finish for Super. They're going to take 1-1 apiece here. LFY, look at her retreat, look at her run back it away. Can they make it out? They've swarmed around Xiaowei with the bumps, with the ion shells. He will be burned on up. But look at this, LPC starts throwing and chucking out the javelins. We'll be able to snipe down at least one extra pick, but it is going to be LFY losing the most. With Monet showing up, trying to do a bit of damage, it looks like QO is going to be forced to pop out the song, and they look to retreat. Febby not going to be able to make it. He gets crushed. He's stuck under the chakra. Will be able to time walk off a lot of that damage. And, well, okay, well, that time dilation, Timbersaw's like, yeah, no thanks. Walks back and out. Another good promising pipe for MVP, but serious amount of bloodshed.
Yeah, the critical thing about that fight is they were able to kill Medusa all under the Chrono without her using her Stone Gaze. They basically sapped all of her mana. If she ever got off the Stone Gaze, that's it. The fight's over. You gotta just run back and reset. But right now, with low levels of intelligence, her mana is actually quite suffering. We need to start seeing some stats items. Well, stats other than Dragonlance, I guess. More well-rounded stats.
Man, these guys love their Dragonlance stuff. They love that Dragonlance. It's all about the stats, really, but she definitely needs a bit more. I don't know if it warrants the Linken's build-up or not, but she definitely will need to start stepping in that direction, because if she's being brought down at this point under the one Chrono, she can expect similar results moving on forward. So we'll have to see if she's going to be able to kind of soak it up, as the rest of her team, in the meantime, will be able to kind of, create that space, divert attention elsewhere as they hustle out in front. It looks like Super will actually partake in this. A long jump in from Yao is going to be able to get a good connection here from Velo with the boat and everything else. He is as gone as fast as he lived. Dubu was rushing on in there, and they could be caught. Oh, Yao sees him, moves in, catches him inside that little tree closet, trying to go for a TP, and sends him back a packing the old-fashioned way. Double kill.
A little bit 2-for-1 special. Got Velo, got a freebie on top of that. And how we're doing on Kyo? So got the Relic and almost at the Radiant. So, right now Naga's pretty much a non-factor in these fights. But as soon as Radiant's picked up, Yao's going to have a hard time getting those second and third blinks in. And all the supports, especially on LPC, can you imagine just like her suffering under an army of Naga illusions? She could take one of them. That's good for the team, but
yeah,
there's still going to be more.
It's in your face and it's rough. And now you begin to look at what LFY have to respond to it. Do they have good ways to deal with this incoming, impending illusion army or not? Timbersaw certainly has plenty of ways to be able to kind of dish out the damage and spread out the creep waves. And it does look like Xiaowei is going for an armlet build-up on his Kunkka. And with that kind of damage, with his Tidebringer, they have a good way to deal with it for now. But yeah, of course, when Naga gets the critical mass and has the heart and has all those stats, you're dealing with a whole new monster. So we'll have to see.
Let's not forget about Dusa too. Like,
That's
she
true.
will hit everything in the fight.
That's true.
So
can't sleep on the Dusa. And yeah, it's a who knows? I mean, it's a Medusa versus Naga, Lumi. This could be a 2-hour game if things, live up to their anime world. I don't know. They could make it to the final boss at the end. Medusa versus Naga. Who is the true late gamer? It would be ridiculous.
Well, I gotta say, KotLGuy, I'm glad that for the first time in 3 games that the game's not over in 20 minutes.
That's great.
At least effectively over. Like, right now, we don't know who's gonna win, right?
That's true. That's true. I like that, as Dubu moving in, looking to say that MVP could be the one to win this. Realizes fast that Monet does hit hard, and they need a bit more, but he's looking to hold him back. That time dilation, man, is an Achilles heel on a Timbersaw. Will be very effective at this point, but it's a Timbersaw. He's too damn hard to break, so they look to the next target. They see Xiaowei. They say he's easier to kill. Let's go for him. But he also is very fast, and he's going to make it back and away. Meanwhile, back and beyond, it looks like they got the Chrono here looking to lock down LPC, and they're like, guys, get over here, fight LPC. No one's dying here on the side of LFY, but now they drop out the Chaotic Offering. Here comes the return fire. It's a big boat connection, but with the wall being dropped, they are going to be looking to try to do some huge illusion work here. Dubu trying to make it back and away. The Fatal Bonds will kind of reek on through the rest of LFY, though. Crumbling before. They still managed to bring down Dubu. 2 down from MVP here. The play continues to spread, but LFY drops nobody. Oh my god, Yao barely lives on.
Did you catch that kill that super got on Dubu?
Mm-mm.
No, so Dubu was charging out a fight at red health, right? Because he was getting hammered down by everybody. Super was just farming a neutral camp with a split shot turned on. And suddenly a Spirit Breaker charged. I was like, okay. And the arrow just shot into Dubu and it got a kill.
Oh, that was probably the easiest kill Super is going to be getting in a long time.
Yeah.
So
the best neutral camp that he's ever visited as well.
Damn. Well, promising fight for LFY right there. One that MVP was looking to kind of really set up. Just got very awkward very fast. No one became easy to kill with when you're leading things out, trying to get onto a timber saw here, and all you're really doing is kind of stacking up the reactive armor. They're looking for the next target that might be better, and then they have to settle for someone else, and then they're suddenly all spread apart, way out of position, and LFY is coming on in and looking to capitalize. And I think MVP, it could have been even a lot worse for him, but you know, Ryzen was there, got off a pretty damn good rock, a good Fatal Bonds, and you know, things worked out for themselves.
Yeah, Spirit now is really you put it right on his head, because they chronoed the Enchantress, and nobody was focusing on the Enchantress under the chrono because the fight was so chaotic. I mean, you gotta put things in perspective. They lost a fight when they chronoed and used Chaotic Offering Vacuum Wall. That should never happen in any well-coordinated fight for MVP.
Yeah.
Because these cooldowns are just way too long to kind of waste for losing team fights. We gotta really kind of peel it back, play that calm, collected Dota they played during game 1 when they were winning so much. And not Picnic, because there's a lot of game. You still got a Naga left, you know? She can definitely carry the late game.
They bring the tier 1 down top. Still lots of towers on the map for MVP, so lots of gold still to kind of collect and help out that Lady Naga here. And as we touch base with her, it does look like she's been able to kind of invest in some nice red shoes. So she's got the boots of travel now to kind of get from point A to point B a bit faster, but still has quite the adventure ahead of her, as it is still on MVP's other posse here. And you know, as mentioned, the best part of this other 4 stack is that they have that wombo combo factor, but you can't be, you know, one spell here, one spell over there, another some odd moments later we'll pop one over here. They need to make sure everything is tight and in unison, as mentioned, disciplined. So for MVP, let's see if those opportunities present themselves. It's LFY, though, who are actually on the prowl. Smoke towards the mid lane. Let's see what they can catch.
Well, they scanned that there's a Darkseer, or at least somebody farming there, so they're getting ready to jump. The smoke breaks. Velo will jump away, but they X him up, so nowhere you go. They bring him back. Oh, where did he go?
He's gone. Wait.
How did he break this X?
I thought you had to use a Yules. He certainly doesn't have that. Did he blink at like the... No, he blinked initially to jump over.
Though.
I don't know, man. My head hurts. What was that?
That is some...
Did I miss something? Does he have someone on his team that can get rid of it? Am I dumb? Are we dumb? I don't know. Okay, I'll have to look at that one back. We'll see. Somehow he lives. He gets out from that. They smoke, they move in, and... I don't know, maybe LFY are still scratching their heads because they're like not in the neighborhood anymore.
Yeah. And now, here comes the charge.
Okay, charge on in. Again, towards the Timber, though. He is not an easy target, Dubu, so it looks like they spot out Yao. That means there's going to be the Nether Strike, the bump back, surge on in, and they'll be the ensnare. I was going to say, without much more catch, they can't do anything else about it, but it looks like they are going to be able to get the assistance on that front. Monet, though, desperate, swings himself Tarzan style all the way through the fight, looking to get a setup here, but he's still a Timber Saw. He's a big machine. And that requires a lot to be able to bring him down. QO is actually going to be forced to get out the song because Monet is just in his face. He's going to go for the TP to make it back and away, while on the other side of the fight, they are going to be dropping the Chaotic Offering here on top of their heads. Dubu, though, just charging on in, knows he could be dropped. Bebby, 2-man chrono, gets Velo under it. Monet on the outside. Rising it off serious damage and work with the help of the Fatal Bonds, though. Will do a number in and help put this Medusa down. Monet continues to put in the work, dominating for him. Gets a Timber Che off and should be able to make it back on out. And with him and LPC as the last survivors for LFY, they're going to move in and they're going to get another sweet grab, taking down the Darkseer. I don't know, MVP. You know, QO has been out of the fight for a long time here. He tries to go for a TP, but no, that ain't happening. They got a Yules waiting for him, and they will take him down too. Monet with the triple kill, and he's up to 17 stacks on his Bloodstone.
So they started the fight by killing the Slaughter, which is great because that's the point blank lockdown. And then they're like, okay, let's get the Timber. You know, we're 4, he's 1. And then at the end of the fight, Monet's the one that's alive. Monet played it really well. He zoned out the Naga, put her out of fight, forced her to TP. She had to Song and TP out on her own. And then by the time that happened, the rest of MVP had to commit with Chrono and a Rock. And that looked pretty good, right? Like, they killed everybody under there.
Yeah.
But then the person that they didn't kill, Monet, came back in and it was just cleanup on aisle 3 and it was easy peasy for him.
We'll see how much more he can utilize this. I mean, he seems pretty damn indestructible with where he is now, so it'll be quite a while before Naga is in a position where she can easily deal with that, or even the Faceless Void. So, and apparently on the issue of how the hell did he get out of that X, report is that apparently Xiaowei might have X'd himself. And didn't get the X quite onto the Darkseer.
I see. So I heard the X. I saw, you know, there's an X mark on the ground.
But he like leapfrogged over them and it was like split way off the screen. That it happened so fast.
Yeah.
Man, I mean, props to him getting out that blink timing so quick. They were heading up towards that camp, but he was already on the way out, and that led to chaos to follow here. And well, MVP going to be blessed with more time on the clock, which Naga is always going to be happy with. You can say the same case though for the Medusa on the other side. But that is a Medusa now with an Aegis, as they do clean up and clear out that Roche. We'll just have to see what L.GD.FY are going to be able to do with it.
Yeah, and you know, Medusa has been dying in these fights, so that's one more thing, you know, going for MVP. But Monet has not been. Monet technically is the carry player on the team, I suppose. Although right now he's oh, hold that thought. Charge is happening, man.
And quickly canceled out. MVP just really cleaning out the LFY jungle right now, taking it all for theirs, making sure there's no creeps left. They got down a couple of wards. They'll take whatever intel they can get, and then they might just try to stall things out, avoid trouble, and split pressure the lane so that LFY can't feel comfortable moving past the river and really trying to use this Aegis to, you know, objectively push down and push into the base. So we'll have to see. This could be a slow period, you know. It could be. I don't want it to. I want to see more bloodthirst, more action, more rock drops here, but for the sake of Medusa versus Naga Gaming, I don't know if either team is going to look to kind of take the slow road or not.
There's a lot of bloodthirst for the neutrals, that's for sure. Naga Illusion's being sent in, cleaning out both camps, and he's porting bottom tick towers. But one thing.
Xiaowei, a lot of damage from this illusion, and Dubu's charging and providing the vision. He took a lot of damage actually. He almost died. Back to the fountain he goes, but that means he's not part of this fight. As they get the Yule's connection here for Dubu. Okay, he is good and gone here. Uh-oh, Febby. Chrono out, and that's it. He only caught Yao. That might have been a bit of a panic Chrono, and he suddenly rushes up north looking to try to TP out. He will be able to make it back and away, but I guess Chrono's on cooldown now, so we'll see what LFY with an Aegis now do with it.
Yeah. I mean, the problem with the MVP draft when it revolves around team fights is that they just don't have the kind of guarantee initiation that LFY have, right? They could start the fight with the X. Oh, Xiaowei might just die here. Oh yeah, Xiaowei's okay. He might need to throw his song just to get himself some buffer. He's also gonna get charged. He could arm the toggle, but I mean, there's radiance on him. This is gonna be a tough one. Oh yeah, Xiaowei's dead.
Running, Riptide's there, vacuum back. Yeah. Don't do this to me! Oh, he pops off the wand. Oh my goodness, he is good. But that is not the kind of game you want to play as a support, I can tell you what. Back to the fountain again he goes. The annoyance begins, but he'll be fine.
Monet's behind the tower against Febby. Febby would jump away. They have Yules to pick him up if they want. No, they're gonna let him go. But anyways, MVP just doesn't have the point blank initiation. Like, their form of initiation is a Spirit Breaker charge, which is extremely pronounced. You see where it's coming, you see where the rest of the team is coming, ideally, probably in the same direction that Spirit Breaker came from. But LFY has that blink stun, they have the X, they have great follow-up with the boat, so you can see that LFY are getting these better initiations, and that's making it hard for MVP to exert their wombo combo, because the fight always generally starts in LFY favor.
Here comes Dubu, charging in from behind, looking to make it go on super while the rest of the fight's breaking out up on front. They get a good boat and they get a good kill, taking out the Warlock here. And Dubu escapes just as fast as he came in. Turns out to be just an LFY single pick. They know that their Aegis timer is a ticket, and they're looking to put some use out of it. So here they come down the mid lane, looking to take out some tier 2s. And we'll have to see if MVP are just going to try to split the difference on some other lanes, or if they are going to consider defending. They will have their rock back in action in about 20 seconds.
Well, if Darkseer wants to push top, he's gotta be careful. Kunkka does have that max level X, and that will be enough time to wait for ally support back. And we might see the episode of Naga versus Xiaowei.
Uh-oh. Oh, no. Axe pull back. Yao has a BKB, so he gets up the crush. That means QO can't make it away on the other end of the song, so the chase is on. He has no help nearby. Oh, are you serious?
Yeah.
They chased after the illusion. He is gone. See you later, nerds. Oh my God, look at him, angry as ever. They just totally did not even imagine that the other one could have been him. I followed QO. I was not juked, and I was just like, where'd everyone go? He is gone. Are you serious?
I wonder
he
if
broke the ankle of 3 of them perfectly.
Yeah, I wonder if he microed his illusion in a certain way to trick them like that. Because I didn't see any micro.
I just went with QO the whole time. I was actually more surprised that maybe they overthought it. I have no idea. That was an amazing legless juke right there. I don't know. That was awesome.
Alright, well, QO, I mean, this is where QO shows his strides, right? Because he never got to play a Tinker game because he just died the whole time. And now finally he farmed up to a position where he can play Dota now. And he's playing. The man's come to play.
Totally gets to survive what could have been certain demise right there after being hunted out from 3 different LFY members. They get to hold on to the precious Naga. She gets to hold on to her precious money, and they're looking for a setup here on the bottom lane. Only able to bring Monet down half of its life before the rest of the reinforcements show up here from LFY. They spotted out Dubu, and they will quickly punish him for it. He will have to be the sacrifice, taking up that huge gank, allowing the rest of the MVP to quickly escape out and go down to a different lane. But this is, pretty much what they wanted here. LFY have not been able to make any, good use out of the Aegis. They haven't been able to. They only got 1 tier 2, with that timing. So MVP are pretty happy at this point.
I think LFY recognized that they can't really go high ground even with the Aegis, and it's just too dangerous to do so, to clump up versus, all of the AoE on the side of MVP. So they mostly just use that Aegis as farm insurance, push down a tower or 2. But I think still slowly LFY is the one that's getting momentum. The net worth chart agrees. Because, again, they're just getting easier picks. Like, a Blink Crush is a kill. Blink Crush Bolt is a kill. X is a kill. It's just so hard for MVP to get anything set up.
Yeah. We'll see, though, as what they haven't been able to really achieve, true wombo combo kind of success here. They would be able to burst on 4, because if it's like that kind of scatterbrain fight where they have to have constant catch and constant chase, yeah, they certainly have shown that they are very weak in that department. So focus down more around their Naga. She has her Octarine core now complete. So that takes her up to pretty much a whole new level. And with that means that MVP can always keep pressure across the river, where we have LFY coming down from the north on one side of the map. The push is already on the other side. And Dubu's moving on in, looking to go for Yao here. Femi can't quite catch both, but the vacuum helps keep him back inside that chrono. Beautifully done. And then into the chaotic offering. This is the wombo combo that they were hoping for. Now they're going to be able to have enough to move through the machine here and get down Monet. They're trying to go for it. Brief song quickly canceled. LPC being chased from the low ground, but here comes Super. Pops out the mighty Stone K's and forces them back. That allows Monet to move on in, get the godlike shriek, and a double kill for him. MVP have to eject the hell out of there. QO off on his own adventure, was chasing after LPC, who couldn't even get that kill. Looks like he was able to kind of pike himself up to the high ground. Meanwhile, Monet continues that chase and was able to get the grab onto Horizon. A beautifully started fight from MVP. Oh, it turns into, unfortunately, a bit of a disaster there at the end when Super shows up.
Yeah, I mean, the MVP team, again, just don't have to catch, especially after that rock was dropped. The Dubu has to keep on charging to keep on going, but a lot of damage, I guess, wasted on Monet, and as soon as Azusa joined the fight, they just didn't have enough. Dubu goes in once again, but I don't know about this one. Who is he really setting up? He has to run now. Here comes Vela with the backpack.
These guys are just too big.
Just stands there, yeah.
They're too big. Both of them. They're like, what are we really gonna do? We'll jump onto them, but then what can we do to follow up with the deeps? QO here now. It looks like they were able to kind of snipe down the Dire Courier as it was trying to make a special delivery. Charges up. They're looking to focus fire Super, but that is not easy itself. Already, they're gonna take down the Darkseer. This lady is really tough. QO persistent though. They'll be able to finally bring her down. Monet could be next. QO looking to be the last one to really stand, and they will get him down. No, the boat's coming through, and they'll be able to get a response. They get down QO. Both of them fall. Both raid bosses are going to fall in this one. As Zhao Wei just comes triumphantly in. Holy moly, what a serious fight. MVP, though, take a hard loss with that as they lose 4.
But they did get the Beyond Godlike streak on Monet, and they knock a chunk out of his Bloodstone Charge, which is the big reason why he was staying alive for so long. But LFY are already back in it because of that big Bloodstone, and they're going to be the victor here, taking another tower.
Tier 2, last Tier 2 for MVP, and then it's all moving in for high ground. What kind of tools do they have here? I mean, they don't really have the best high ground pushing team. I mean, Timbersaw goes up there, punch that tower, punch it. But, you know, not serious push. So this will be a little bit of a siege. No, okay, well that's what they do good, Lumi. They don't push well, but they can certainly jump up and over the back lines and do work there, and they do so. Get a quick snipe, and they can get back into the grind of pushing in if they so choose. But it looks like they'll actually opt to kind of rush on out and just be happy with their huge winnings.
That Risen pickup was so big there because he had Rock at the ready, and he was just waiting for 10 more seconds for Chronosphere to be backed up, and they could have had that wombo combo again, but getting caught out. And honestly, he's been getting caught out repeatedly this game. Remember, this game started on the bottom lane with the Slaughter getting multiple kills on him. That was the reason why he got such an early blink. Risen really needs to step up his positioning game, which, I mean, it's hard, granted, because there's a Timbersaw running at you, there's a Slaughter running at you, but he can't get caught with his pants down like this. His team is really relying on this Fatal Bond and Rock to really have the damage to win the fight. That's
all they have, really. I mean, how else are you going to really be able to do any sort of respectable damage against these guys? Look at Super's items. He now has an Eagle Song. That's going to be a Butterfly. I'm not seeing an MKB here on MVP anywhere. That is going to be ridiculous. Their only hope is Wombo Combo or some sort of seriously crafty QO Naga game. I don't know. This is going to be a tough one in itself. QO does have Lunny. I'll give him that, man. He's getting close to 5K, but how many more Naga items can you get to help go against not just this ridiculous Medusa, but also the Timbersaw too? Hell, even Zhao Wei's going to have some items on his Kunkka. He picks up the Diffuser Blade, which I was going to ask you, like, why has he not bought it yet? Because a couple of Naga illusions with Diffuser Blades going onto the Medusa to take away her mana shield is a big part of how you kill the Naga. Or kill the Medusa, excuse me. Oh, yeah. Just picks it up. To be fair, though, I don't think her illusions will be able to survive that long, given how much AoE is on the side. Oh, here comes the fight. Yeah, as they rush on in, Yao looks for setup onto Dubu. Yao also in a lot of trouble. Dishes out the boat to stay alive, but they have the Chrono there. Meanwhile, LPC just continues to chuck out damage for Febby. Febby tries to man up on Super, but you cannot do much damage to him. He's going to be holding a lot of mana, and they quickly drop and take down the Darkseer here. Warlock also dying, not able to get the rock off is a huge, severe problem for MVP, so they have to try to get back in away. A song to stall things out, but QO can't make it out, so he goes down too. Oh, this is huge. QO started his teleport, but he canceled it for whatever reason. And LFY noticed, like, oh, Naga canceled it, and they that time there was no tricking them because they saw which one was the real Naga. Crumbling here, MVP. Yeah, that's a buyback now too. This is bad. This is really, really bad. LFY are just on the up and up right now, and I think this is their time. They move into the high ground now, but I don't know what is going to be left here. They do still have the rock. In about 10 seconds, Warlock will be back, but that might be it. I mean, that's the problem, right? He still has a rock. Why has he not dropped the rock in the last team fight? Because he got Stone Gaze. Like, they started the fight with a Chrono, with a Vacuum, but he still can't drop the rock. Risen, please. We need to see the Wombo Combo. We don't want to see just Chrono Wall. We need to see everything. Because you do not win the team fight without everything. These fights are seriously chaos, so, you know, where positioning is so key, you think you're in a good spot to be able to set up for a rock, and next thing you know, you're just 2 steps too far to the left, and you got a Stone Gaze coming your way, and it's just all quickly canceled. And those kind of things can just snowball into serious issues now. So LFY not able to get takedown to Rax yet, but you know they're hemorrhaging on the side of MVP, even though it doesn't show it inside their base. This is a bad spot that they're in, and this Naga is already almost at critical mass. I don't expect to see much more else out of QO to be able to kind of pull this one back. I look over to Febby, and he's got his own Diffusal Blade and Manta, which is great, but we'll have to see. It looks like possibly an Abyssal Blade or something out of this. Maybe it's just a Crimson. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, also they learned from the last team fight they cannot fight into Dusa head on. They all took the stone gaze, which is the reason why Risen couldn't get off this rock. You just have to run when the stone gate comes out. Which the problem with their lineup is once you commit an ult, you just kind of have to all in commit. You can't just like throw chrono and decide to run when you see stone gaze happening. And I think that's why they last picked the Medusa. They recognize that in this late game, she is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Not only can you not kill her, not only is she pumping out a ton of damage, her single ultimate also breaks up your chain of ultimates. She's the ultimate combo breaker right now.
Yeah, and I don't know, I mean, there might have been opportunities before where it's like you can get the approach onto Super and just force him to go into like a defensive ulti, but not now. She is far from, she will determine when she pops the ult, and it's probably going to be more so on the initiative than anything defensive soon. Suddenly a wild spree of Dagons appear for Monet as he plans on zapping down some MVP Koreans. We'll see if he can do it.
And remember that misfight where they ran at Super with the Spear Breaker? They bumped him from low ground to high ground and high ground to lower again. They just killed him in that fight before the ult came out. That's no longer an option either because, I mean, look at her items.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to hit her.
And this is before the Butterfly Manta being completed. I thought she had it already, but the courier was dead for a while. Looks like she'll pick it up in the side shop now, and they're ready to end this game.
Yep, don't really blame him for it. That courier will deliver the winning items here for LFY, and it is on MVP to pull out the ultimate stops. They have one of the best kind of high ground teams on paper you could really ask for. It's a matter of if they're going to be able to get the chance to dish out everything that they live up to here. Yao tries a nice little ambitious jump in, but is not going to be able to get the catch with the crush on that. And they begin to go to work, Super dishing out some good demolishing damage here. Dube will be the one to kind of lead on in. Gets Yules up. They look to burst him down. And there's going to be the song. They're looking for the setup. Febby rushing in, trying to find Yahweh, but he's going to be able to blink back away. He is long gone. And now MVP are a bit split up. Febby's going to have to settle with a chrono. That doesn't work out, but they get a nice vacuum wall under it. There's a boat trying to dish out the rum, trying to help keep him alive, and now Super's going to pop out the stone gaze, and that's going to be it. Forcing MVP back it away here. Up and above, Yao's going to spot out Febby, crushes him down. Dubu moves in, looking to help on out. QO trying to help slice things up. They're going to be able to get LPC. They're going to be able to get Yao too. That's a gem on the deck. They look to go for Xiaowei. Super's able to slither himself back into the fight once again. Both him and Monet trying to hold tough right now because MVP are kiting them all back and around right now. They go for Monet. They're going to get him too. That's 4 down for MVP. They're looking to fight back. QO with a double kill, and they know Super, he's the last man alive. No Aegis is up. They're making chase here, and Febby is rushing him down, and he bashes him too! This is going to be a 5-man wipe. MVP. They hold, and they hold strong. They lose nobody at all. Where did things go so wrong?
They were so sure they were going to win that team fight, so Medusa doesn't have buyback. Hugo just ports up top and start working on base. Oh god, this could be
Oh my goodness, MVP are back in this game. Look at them, they took the tier 3. They're going in for the Rex. Super's dead for over a minute. He has no buyback at all. It's only Monet. Oh my. Oh my.
Monet can't hold this for a while because he is very, very stacked at the double shock run, but he needs to start throwing them out. Got to be very careful if he gets time dilated as well. All right, Rax number 1 goes down, Rax number 2 goes down. LFY is 4 strong, but the song is going to reset. I think MVP is going to commit and win this fight here and go for the win. No. They're going to just chicken out and pour back. One set of Rax is all they got.
Yeah, I don't know if I can really blame them. They got so much already from that. Look how determined LFY are. How dare you take this game right back. They are chasing. They finally will settle for someone. They got Febby. Febby dishing out the chrono, looking to go for Xiaowei. Can he get the kill? He can. Dagon time walks off all that damage, and he is going to make it out. Oh my god, MVP could take this fight back and just close the game out here and now if they want, but okay, it looks like they won't. Darkseer was caught behind. I don't know if he was trying to make his own impression in that skirmish, but it came too late if that was the case. MVP will walk away. Only losing the Darkseer is still very, very big.
I think what happened in that last fight was LFY really underestimating what MVP could have done outside the ultimates, because we saw all the ultimates being dropped and then nothing happened, right? Dusa turned on Stone Gaze and began the chase, thinking, all right, we lived through all the ultimates, time to win. Except, they didn't realize, okay, we have Fatal Bonds still on us. We got Naga Illusions running everywhere, and we're all spread out. the Slardar can't actually do anything for us because his Blink Dagger is constantly being cancelled. So everybody was running crazy. And that's everything that Naga wants. You want a team fight that everyone just runs around, nobody dying, because you get more and more illusion damage being spread out. And also keep in mind that she's got the Diffusal Blade, she's got the lockdown, and she's able to, zone in his target. And you were calling it, it was what was it? Slaughter was the first one to die, and then the Enchantress, and then it was the Kunkka. That's how LFY is supposed to take the fight. That's how they're supposed to kill one, and then the other, and the other. Instead, it was Kyo doing the exact same thing back to LFY. And that's how they took that team fight.
It's amazing just how much they were able to kind of just pull and drag and spread apart LFY. And as mentioned, because of all the Radiance burn, like, they were not able to just kind of be there for the team. MVP just moved in uniform so nicely. And because of it, just the rewards here. Oh my God, look at this graph. You need a freaking rope to climb that thing straight up. It went from 10K, it went from even beyond that, like nearly a 13K net worth advantage, and suddenly we're 4K the other way. QO swole, the mightiest piece of tuna you've ever seen in your freaking life. 34K of net worth just for him. He's got a heart now, he's got a moon shard. There's really nothing else he can get. I mean, this is really as far as you go. You start going 7-8 slots, I guess, if you want.
If you told me 10 minutes ago, or maybe even 5 minutes ago, that Alpha was going to lose one team fight and they're going to be down 4K, I would not believe you, right? Because if you look at the items that Super has, he's so farmed. But I think Alpha can still rely on this due to that she is still unmatched.
Yeah.
In a 1v, like a straight up team fight. The way that MVP has to win fights is continue to do what they just did, right? Just make the fight go along, drag it around, run crazy, run amok. And hope your Naga kind of just picks one up.
And here we go. MVP looking to move in. At the same moment, back though, as Dubu rushes on forward. They get a Stone Gaze off. Febi's Chrono might be a bit nullified there, but they're still going to come in with both the Chaotic Offering and the Wall and the Fatal Bonds. Is it going to be enough to plague through LFY? They're trying to make it work here. Febi re-engages, looking to go for Yao. They're going to be able to get him down. And now, though, over heavy pressure from LPC, Super. The constant javelins coming out with the pure damage is going to be more than enough. Super still caught under that wall, is going to be going down. 2-for-1 trade, working for MVP, and they're not done yet. They're looking to go for Monet. Can they get it? Dubu flexing off that BKB, looking to charge on forward. A boat, though, sails on through from Zhao A. Dubu, look at this guy, way deep into the base. LPC going to be taken apart with that Naga illusion. The buybacks start coming out from LFY. QO gets the song off and looks to leave. He is gone. Back out into base he goes.
And LFY. Look at the base. There is creeps hitting tier 4 towers already.
It's a mess.
Out. Oh my God, Naga looks like it is the true carry. Medusa again being isolated, and she just couldn't move. She got diffuseled up. Her mana shield just got evaporated instantaneously, it felt like. And it was not looking good.
It's the thing is, like, with Medusa is, like, when you're this kind of Medusa and you hit this hard, you're hoping your Medusa just sits in one spot and just unloads everything into the team. But the problem is MVP love that. They'll chrono him in that one spot. The rock will be there. She'll be sitting inside the wall, and she can't afford the time to run out from that position and find a new one. Like, by that point, her team's going to be dead. So where she stands is unfortunately where she has to fight. And if MVP can control where she stands with walls and rock drops and chronospheres, it is not going to be a good time for Super, and it is shown in these past 2 ridiculous fights that it's not working as it is. But here they are able to find a timing window as they quickly move in for the L5. They can get it. Can they move in? Oh, the song gets off. Are they going to be able to take it? Well, they're starting with an illusion. That's it. Yeah, they can vacuum to the high ground if he was close enough. Velo goes for it. He is going to be able to get Super to the high ground now. That's the Medusa. Not going to get pulled up. Yao's going to get brought back down. Super goes for the Stone Gaze. The follow-up will be the Chrono right there on top of it, but QO was caught inside as well. Febi looks in to go for Monet, and they begin to shred through him with the Manta with a Diffusal, and they will not get him yet. The Yules will come off, but they will bring him down. Super, the big boss, hanging on the high ground now. Febi's going to jump on up and will be able to bring him down. That's the wall, just hanging on top of him. It is going to be bad from here on forward. He's got the Aegis, but I don't know if he's going to be able to live through this second life. Meanwhile, they look to go for Xiao Wei, and he lives long enough so that the Boots of Travel can come in for Monet. Monet's here to fight now. He's looking to go for Dubu. Can he grab him? He's trying to get him, but QO will not allow it. Another song comes off now, locking Monet in place and giving enough time for Dubu to charge out and away.
Lisa's still on the high ground. She's trying to get a TP. Somebody
sniped
that
stuck.
Courier.
Courier's en route. Dubu can't see it, so it's going. Meanwhile, Dubu's in trouble himself. Modim's looking to move in. Can he get him? You can't.
He's
Dubu
gonna
charges
charge
and bumps him
himself.
back.
He's going
What
back
is
up.
this? Back
Dubu
and below, they
facing
dropped the
trouble, by the
chaotic.
way.
They canceled Super's TP. They dropped a rock on him. He's still stuck on that high ground. What is going on? Another TP's coming. Meanwhile, inside the base, Kiwo's going to work. He's hitting the Ancient. The Ancient's going down.
The TP's
Where's
on CD
Super?
For 50 seconds. They're
Super?
out of Super for 50.
He is
How are they gonna
stuck.
take back the base?
This is the worst thing ever for LFY. The racks are dropping. This is going to be Megas. How unfortunate for the LGD squad. And look at Dubu. He has been the mouse against these cats running all around. They get the Megas. I can't believe it. Super's still on the He's still up in there. He's stuck. He's never joining this fight. I've
All right,
never seen
25
this.
more seconds. Can the base? Oh my God! They dropped him.
Oh
Now
my!
he's dead.
They dropped.
Okay, he's okay. He's okay for now. But look at the base. The Forge is focusing the throne. They're
It's
gonna get
over! MVP have done it! Oh my God! Look at that net worth graph before it switches out of the way. We were talking about a 12K net worth advantage for Forever Young. But MVP hold that bottom lane push, and they take every fight since then. And look at the way they were able to manipulate that Medusa. That was disrespect.
You know, for the first half of the fight, once they vacuum on the wall, I was like, wait, actually, isn't this what Dusa wants? She wants to be an isolated target, and nobody could hit her, right? And then she was shooting everybody until the Void jumped on her and killed her, and then they just left her up there. Like, they wouldn't even kill her a second time. And that all turned out to be ultimately the greatest play. And Dubu, man, them jukes in the trees, just breaking angles. LGD angles are still found in those woods these days.
There were so many fun little plays. That was just so crazy to me. That QO juke also, like, man, that was crazy. I can't believe it. I will need to go back and check the replay of that game-changing fight. And I guess you got to give the biggest respect to Velo with that vacuum. Medusa would have been stuck up there. I think Super's still there. Someone needs to go find Super and get him down from that cliff top because they probably have more games to play. That was awesome. And a ridiculous series. Lumi, we're going to be done with this series for now. Before we move on, though, any final impressions for this or anything you're looking forward to seeing more from these teams moving on in the tournament?
Oh, I just want to see more MVP play. I mean, even though they should have lost this game, but they somehow still clawed the way back. So you can never count out MVP. I think LFY is also quite a strong team. Despite losing the series, you cannot sleep on them. Looking forward to the rest of MDL. Great tournament. A lot of good teams here.
I'll see if I can try to load up the replay for you guys so we can all take one more look at that as we do go into a little bit of a break. I believe our next series that is slated to be on here is OG versus, I have it right here, it's OG versus IG Vitality. I'm looking forward to that one. It's going to be myself and Mr. Ben Merlini Wu. That is slated to start in just under an hour. It's about 45 minutes. I will let you guys know because games are supposed to happen back-to-back, so we could be starting sooner than that. So in the meantime, thank you so much for hanging out. Make sure you show some love to Lumi. Hit him up on his Twitter. Hit him up on his Twitch. I'm KotLGuy. We'll see you soon. Lumi, thanks again for coming out. I'll see you again tomorrow as we return for more MDL action. Take care, guys.